Hello and welcome to Wheelock College for today's segment of Inquiry in Action. I'm your host, Dr. Chuck Fittler, and today we will be exploring the states of matter. After doing this lesson, you should be able to understand and explain the difference between a solid, liquid, and a gas. Matter can be found in one of four states: solids, liquids, gases, or plasma. We will be discussing solids, liquids, and gases. The particles of matter are arranged and move differently in each state. The particles of a solid are tightly packed and have a definite shape and volume. Refrigerated butter is an example of a solid state of matter. The particles in a liquid are more loosely packed than the particles in a solid. Liquids have a definite volume, but not a definite shape. Water at room temperature is an example of this state. Gas particles are loosely packed. They have no definite shape or volume. Water vapor, what you might see when you boil water, is an example of water in the gas state. To do this investigation, you'll need the following common household items, including one nonstick frying pan, one spoon, a tablespoon of non-liquid butter, one range or heat source, and of course, your science notebook. Remember, science is all around us, and we can study nature in your very own kitchen. Let's go to the lab, your kitchen, and have some fun. You ever see plasma? You probably have. It's what lightning is made of, and it's the fourth state of matter. Today, we're going to explore the other three: solids, liquids, and gas. Hello again. Let's get started with our inquiry-based experiment. Remember, allow yourself to be curious, ask plenty of questions, and enjoy being a learner. Place your frying pan onto an unheated burner. In the center of your pan, place a tablespoon or so of butter. In your science notebook, write down any observations that you have. Your setup should look something like this. Now, in my experimental setup, I'm going to insert this digital thermometer in order to help us see what's going on. You don't need to do this at home, but if you do have temperature probes at your school, I recommend trying this setup. Simply insert the temperature probe into the center of the butter and collect the data. Is the butter changing shape? Changing form? Make careful observations in your science notebook. Next, engage the heat to medium-low. Continue to watch for 3 minutes and make careful observations as to what is happening to the butter. Does the butter change form, change shape, or change color? In your notebook, describe what is happening in rich detail. After 3 minutes, what does the butter look like? Is the butter boiling? Does it appear to be drying up? What is happening to your butter? Once the butter has started to burn, turn off the heat and let the dish cool while watching the butter. I have a challenge for you. How does this experiment demonstrate different states of matter? What caused the change in the matter state? Think about these at home, but for now, let's head back to Inquiry Central. So what is happening to the butter in your frying pan during this experiment? Well, first, butter is a water and oil emulsion, and when commercially made, contains about 80% butterfat and 15% water. As you witnessed, butter remains a solid when refrigerated, but softens to a spreadable consistency at room temperature, which is about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Then it melts to a thin liquid consistency at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. What specifically increases the internal temperature of the butter? Your stove. Through conduction, thermal energy is being directed into the pan and then into the butter. This is increasing the molecular movement of the butterfat and water molecules. As the thermal energy increased, the liquid water in the butter ultimately changed from a liquid to a gas and escapes in the form of water vapor. As the water vapor escaped, left behind was the butter fats, which ultimately melted into a fatty liquid. As it cooled to a solid, it changed to a dehydrated, encrusted mess on your pan. This leads to the scientific conclusion that you have some scrubbing to do. I don't know about you, but that experiment made me hungry, so I'm going to get something to eat. But before I go, I hope you had fun conducting these investigations and learned a bit about science inquiry and the states of matter. Just remember to keep safety first. That's all the time we have for today. This is Dr. Chuck Fittler for Inquiry in Action. We'll see you next time.